the steeple, cast shadows underneath, an impulse far too strong to keep away from me. Oh, Berlin, oh, Berlin, oh, Berlin, Berlin.
So, welcome to Queerguru TV, and I feel like we're so lucky to get you because you're always on tour somewhere. We've been a fan of your music for years, but it wasn't until I started to look you up to talk to you today that I was quite shocked at what I found. You, for example, you were an ex-college wrestler who almost became a Catholic priest.
Yeah, that's true.
So tell us all about that journey.
Well, I was always an athlete growing up, and I really loved it. And I went to college to wrestle, and that was super fun. But I had a lot of anger and a lot of conflict in my life, and so wrestling was a really great outlet. But it got
Really?
to the point where it just wasn't satisfying anymore. As I was like calming down internally and becoming an adult, and I wasn't, an angsty teenager anymore. I was just looking for something bigger, and I was looking for something different. I was looking to impact the world in
Yeah.
a better way, and I wasn't really attracted to people in a sexual way, men or women. So for me, the idea of celibacy was easy. And
Yeah.
so at some point in time, I just had the thought like, oh, well, why don't I become a priest? And seemed like a really great fit. And so I went to Catholic seminary.
And you like the outfits. What came first with you? Accepting your sexuality or your music? Because they're linked very closely.
That's an interesting question. I think that they probably blossomed at the same time. I picked up the guitar when I was going to college after I got it for my mom gave it to me as a graduation present after my senior year of high school. So I got it when I graduated from high school. I was obsessed with Dave Matthews Band, so I just started playing all the Dave Matthews Band songs, and I did that through college. And so through college, I was really kind of this like, this kind of like wandering hippie. I used to like just throw my guitar on my back and run back and forth places, and in between like practice and school, I was kind of wandering around in flip flops playing the guitar. And, and yeah, I mean, if I think about it in that way, it was almost like, and also tie that into the fact that I was having no kind of relationships with people in a romantic way. So it was almost like I was a caricature of a person. And then I went to seminary, and I was writing songs almost immediately too, but they were really, really very bad. They were almost like emulating other people.
Yeah.
And then I got to seminary, and I fell in love with the man, and then kind of that was like, oh shit, that's the thing. And then I also started writing songs, I think that were better. And I think maybe in retrospect, I've never thought about these two things at the same time before. But maybe in retrospect, there was this idea of like finally being authentic to my own voice that made the blossoming of my own music and my own voice possible. And I think that that's really what I adhere to in my writing and in my art right now, and it's only continued to grow along those same lines.
Yeah.
It takes its toll.
Yeah, we love that your music seems to reflect a reflection of your own life and your marriage to Mike. In particular, it seems to inspire you with such optimism and positivity. And even your darker music doesn't seem sad these days. Is that an accurate assessment, you think?
I'm no interest in putting out just really sad music for sad music's sake. I'm a person that believes in hope and redemption
Hmm.
and reconciliation, and that's really what I want to put out in the world. There's certainly times when I've written songs that were very sad and just very sad, and that those songs stay in a book and they sit in my house, and that's really it. It's not. That's not what I want my contribution to this short time on Earth
Yeah.
to be.
So your songwriting is not a therapy for you in that respect. You get out on a last.
I mean, it's always a
Yeah.
therapy. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's a. I mean, songwriting is the best kind of therapy ever. You know, my job is to be self-reflective, and
Hmm.
that's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, you've had enormous success. You've had 7 albums, I think, and you've been named the Washington Blade for Best Gay Musician, but twice. But like other LGBT singer songwriters, you're still independent. Is that a blessing or a drag?
You know, in a lot of ways, a lot older than most of the LGBT songwriters out there, and I've been doing it for a very long time. And I came up in the 2000s when that was something that could be done.
Yeah.
You know, the record industry was completely crumbling, and people were at the same time learning how to do it on their own, and technology was making recording on your own possible, and in places like CD Baby were
Yeah.
releasing music on your own possible. And that's how I came up, and that's how I built my audience, and that's just how it's always been. I
Hmm.
think in that's made it possible for me to do what I do. But I think in the subsequent 10 years, the music industry has caught up, and in having a label and having a team has become more relevant once again. And so I think it's made it possible for me to have the longevity of my
Hmm.
career. But I do think in some ways it has inhibited my ability to grow to a certain level.
Hmm. You've worked with a lot of other performers that we've come across and interviewed, and so many good ones. One in particular is someone we're happy to call our friend, Deven Green.
Mm-hmm.
And can we talk about her and how you work, how you like working with other people?
I mean, I'm so lucky. You know, I moved to Los Angeles, and
Hmm.
my good friends Mark and Foster from the Feast of Fun podcast were like, "Oh, you should meet our friend Devin in Los Angeles," which is what everybody says all the
Yeah,
time. You're like,
yeah,
"Okay,
yeah,
fine." You have like a lot of lunches and a lot of coffees, and you see what clicks. And Los Angeles is just this massive place.
yeah,
It's just huge, you know. So Devin and I met for dinner and realized we lived 6 minutes away from each other, and realized we enjoyed each other's company,
yeah.
and it made life super super easy. So yeah, you know, we're gonna do a live feed tomorrow. I should actually text her. um,
Why don't
uh,
you, when you do, say hi from us because we love her
okay,
dearly. You know.
I will. Yeah, I mean, it just makes it really easy. She's genuinely like just one of the best people in the world,
Yeah,
and
we totally
yeah,
love her.
she's just wonderful.
You've also worked with Matt Alba, we've interviewed, and also Steve Grand, who's I mean, Steve, you've done quite a lot. Um, and in 2014, you went to act in Out to Kill. So, how was that? And is that something you want to pursue in the future, more acting roles?
You know, I mean, I'm open. I'm open to it. It's not something that I'm pursuing. I make a lot of music video and a lot of visual
Hmm.
content, and that is done well over the years. And
Yeah,
I think people see me as an actor as a result of those visual roles in which I play. And Rob was a friend of mine, and Rob Williams, who's the writer and director
yeah.
of Out to
He
Kill.
does a lot of gay films. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And he had used my music in his films before, and he just approached me with this idea, and it seemed really fun. And I have done a couple things, but you know, I'm in Los Angeles, and when I moved out here, I did like everybody did, like, you know, I signed up for the Groundlings, and I you know, was like doing improv, and I was like
Hmm.
going through auditions, and I just didn't I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah,
It was like it. You know, the music industry is very hard, and
yeah.
it's a lot of rejection, and it's a lot of nose to the grindstone. And so is the performing,
Yeah.
so is being an actor. And so for me, it was the idea of starting back from square one after it took,
Hmm.
I don't know, 8 years to get to square two, and doing both of those things at the same time was just becoming a drain on my energy and my person. And so, I continue to make videos, and I'm making so many right now. And I think, frankly, I think if you watch something like Quayside, my last three videos are Quayside, Le Bouffador, and Berlin. If you watch them, I think, frankly, my acting is superb. Um, and I think that I've really grown as a
Hmm.
performer on screen. And if an opportunity arose, then I would certainly take it. But it's not something that I'm
Yeah.
actively.
It robs.
Should I hide on the quayside? On the quayside. On the quayside. Endlessly. Chestnut beams they hover over me.
Talking about performance, our
Mhm.
second home is P-Town, which you've only played once during a Bear Week. Why have we not seen more of you down there?
I played that 3 or 4
Have
times.
you? But
Let
but
me think.
just in and out.
In and out on Bear Week. Yeah, I think 13, 14, 15, 17. I think 3 or 4 years. I'm not really sure, but
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I don't know. It was like
There's
so.
more than bears that were like you. We know that.
I do know that. I used to live in DC. I lived there for a decade,
Oh
and
yeah.
P-Town was easy. And then when I moved to Los Angeles, it's kind of like
Yeah.
as far away as you can possibly be and
Yeah.
still be the
Yeah,
same.
I mean, Devon comes for a few days, but people like Steve Grant do a whole season there. But
Yeah.
we love the variety over there. And you're quite the international star these days. You're off to Belgium next month,
Mhm.
and what then? What's after that? Where do you go after Belgium?
Well, I'm shooting a music video in Amsterdam that
Hmm.
same week,
Hmm.
and I'm really I'm really in a strategy role for 2020. So I'm trying to figure out how the touring looks next year. I just released a new record last week.
Hmm.
I'm releasing tons of visual content. I'm getting really, really great feedback. I just got off the road from this big national tour. I'm
Very
really
long tour.
Thank you. I'm really excited about the show that we've built. It's big, it's dynamic, it's different. It's really fun and also really emotional. And so I'm really working on figuring out how to take that to the masses. This although it was a very long tour, it was really kind of like a development test tour for me, more or less, to do something
Yeah.
even bigger.
Do you take your husband with you?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
well,
Well,
that's
yeah,
so
yeah.
that's why you don't mind going away so long.
Well, he's retired these days, so he kind of makes up his own schedule. And yeah, he was with me for 3 weeks. I was on the road, I think, for 5.
Hmm. Okay. Well, it's been great talking to you. We finally caught up with you at last, and great luck with your new single and your next tour. And tomorrow, say hi to Devon for us.
Okay, I will. I'll tell her right now.
Okay. Take care now.
Bye.